Hey everyone, this is Max at MaxCTCG. Thank you for joining me in another video. So in this video, we're going over the Fire King structure deck. So this can be a basics guide for beginner players really, and we're going to focus on all the cards in the structure deck that are worth playing, their synergies with the deck. We'll discuss different ways you can upgrade the deck from a structure deck. Look at some basic hand traps that are great in a lot of decks that are pretty cheap right now. Different budget, engines you can include, like Dogmatika or Tri-Brigade. And Tri-Brigade has done actually really well recently. And then we can also look at the more expensive cards that are going to be really good moving forward and are still solid in the deck now with the Sinful Spoils engine. We'll talk about new cards that are coming out like Bonfire and Maze of Millennia that just dropped. And then we'll also look at cards from Photon Nightmare, like Snake Eye Populus and the Promethean Princess. And we'll kind of discuss through these different synergies, look at different options for side deck cards based off what structure deck budget players will have options to, and then how you can upgrade those cards and what might be worth playing depending on different situations in the meta. And then also go through different side deck options you can consider playing as well. And that'll kind of round out the video. It's definitely going to be a longer one because we're going to be going through all the cards more in depth and really explaining them. So if you're more of a competitive player, you're familiar with a lot of these cards and how they actually work and their basic synergies, I'd move to the next section of the video where we go through the deck profile, discuss ratios and synergies from a deck perspective, not like individual card perspectives. So the nice thing about this whole engine is that there's really no bricks. So a lot of times an engine that's really solid will kind of have a card you have to play that you don't really want to play, but is required to play as like an engine requirement. In this deck, there's cards that are better than others, but they all get you to your main card, which is the original Sinful Spoils, which is really nice. Next we have Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils. So this card says add one Diabellstar monster from your deck or grave to your hand. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your grave, target one of your Sinful Spoils spell or traps that are banished or in your graveyard. Except Wanted Seeker of the Sinful Spoils, place it on the bottom of the deck, draw a card. So this lets you search a card and then also gain back a resource, which is nice because this engine requires you to send cards to kind of get going, so it makes up for the loss of cards, which is great. Then you have Diabellstar, the Black Witch. You can special summon this card from your hand by sending one card from your hand or field to the grave. Says you can special summon Diabellstar, the Black Witch once per turn this way. You can only use each effect of Diabellstar, the Black Witch once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, set one Sinful Spoils spell or trap directly from your deck. During your opponent's turn, if this card is sent from its owner's hand or field to the grave, summon one card from your hand or field to the grave if you do special summon this card. Next we have Original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. Send one other face-up card you control to the graveyard, special summon one level 1 fire monster from your hand or deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one Snake Eye or Diabellstar monster in your graveyard, add one level 1 fire monster from your deck to your hand, then place the targeted monster on the bottom of the deck. So the nice thing about this engine is we talked about how Ponix is a starter for the structure deck. And we said how, in this deck, Dogmatika, the Nadir Servant acts as another way of getting to Ponix. You get 6 copies. 6 starter cards. So the nice thing with the Sinful Spoils deck is it's very similar. You get a lot of options for increasing consistency to get to Ponix. And once we get to Phantom Nightmare, we'll get to even other plays to get to Snake Eye cards. So Sinful Spoils, we have Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils. That's 3 consistency cards, extra to get to 3 of your Ponix. If you have Diabellstar, some people play between 1 and 3, usually between 1 and 2. That's 2 more cards that end up getting you 2 Ponix. And then you also have the original Sinful Spoils that special summons out the Ponix. So it lets you commit to maybe normal summoning another level 1 monster, like we'll get to with the Snake Eye cards, and then special summoning out the Ponix as well. So you get a lot more consistency with this engine, but this engine is quite expensive. On release, this card was $40, but now it's like closer to $120 per copy. So just this engine alone is, I think, close to like $400 right now, which is pretty expensive. So it might be a reason maybe to look into one of the other synergies. So the other cards we'll get into that can still see some play, but we'll definitely see a lot of play once Phantom Nightmare comes out, is the Snake Eye cards. So if this card is normal or special summon, you can add one level 1 fire from your deck to your hand. And you can send 2 face-up cards you control to the graveyard, including this card. Special summon 1 Snake Eye monster from your hand or deck, except Snake Eye Ash. And then we have Snake Eye's Flamberge Dragon. You can target 1 face-up monster in the field or in either graveyard, place it face up in its owner's spawn trap zone as a continuous spell. During your opponent's turn quick effect, you can target 1 monster card treated as a continuous spell, special summon it from your field or to your field. If this card is sent from the hand or field to grave, special summon 2 level 1 fire monsters from your graveyard. Then you have Snake Eye Populus. It's coming out in Phantom Nightmare. If this card is added to your hand, except by drawing it, you can special summon it. If this card is normal special summon, you can add a Snake Eye spell or trap from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one fire monster in your graveyard, place it face up in the spawn trap zone as a continuous spell. And then we have Bonfire. This came out in Maze of Millennia. It says add one level 4 or lower pyro monster from your deck to your hand. These are kind of the new Snake Eye cards that are coming out that are really going to change the deck. It's really going to go from less of a Fire King deck and more to a Snake Eye deck with Fire King cards, because the kind of lines of play and focus of the deck is going to change. So right now, the focus of the deck is getting to Ponyx and using that line to do your kind of board wipe play. But once we get to Phantom Nightmare, the focus is really going to be to get to Ash, because when Ash is summoned, you can search a level 1 fire monster, so you can add Populus to hand. Populus special summons itself, and then Populus will then get to add a Snake Eye card, so you can go for the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye, which is nice to get more plays going. And then when this card is sent to the grave, you can link it off like a Link Karibo. It summons itself back in the spawn trap zone, and then Snake Eye Ash can then send the Populus on itself to the grave to get Flamberge Dragon. So you can make a lot of really interesting plays with just this engine. We'll go more in depth on the combos, but that's kind of a little bit of the synergy and how it works. But you'll see with Bonfire, with the Sinful Spoils cards, the Diabellstar, the original Sinful Spoils, Ash, you have so many ways to kind of get your plays going. People are really going to focus away from Ponyx and focus more to these Snake Eye combos. And a lot of decks that are running this are going to be kind of running the same similar combo for the most part, which is why it's going to be more of a Snake Eye deck. Now these cards are really good. Right now Bonfire, I think, pre-sold at 40, sold out and went like up to 90. So it's going to be a very expensive card and engine to play, but it is going to be a very strong engine. And we are going to be seeing a lot in the meta. Alright, so that covers the Sinful Spoils cards and kind of the synergies they all have with each other, at least at a basic level. Again, we'll show all these more off in combos to make it visually easier to understand. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. See you there. And if you want to join and become a patron to support the channel because you like the content I'm making, you can find the links in my video description, about page on my YouTube channel, or my website. You can see different things that will come with each of the tiers, as well as each tier having a 7-day free trial to try it out and see if you like it before committing financially. Thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos.